Rise and shine, Value Farm family. Welcome back to another episode of The Farm. If you're new here, you are most welcome. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already, and also turn your notification bells. And of course, to all our returning subscribers, thank you so much. Really appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much for being part of the family and also loving Value Farm. Well, today we are just visiting a farm somewhere. And of course, this is going to be an interesting topic for us, starting a farm. I know we have so many resolutions for the new year, 2023. The year is coming to an end. You've saved your money. So there's a lot that we are going to discuss on this video. But before that, I also have my co-director on standby, who's going to say hello to you guys and also say something.
Wow, that was such a great introduction. Well, hello everybody. My name is co-director Grafton. And yeah, we're actually visiting a very interesting place. It's great that she just mentioned how the 2022 is over. It seems like yesterday we were coming into 2022. And now we're about to dovetail into 2023. Now, there's many of you out there that have been watching our content, watching other people's content, and yet you're still sitting on the sideline. And the reason we actually showed this section of this particular farm to show you guys is to make sure that you understand where these guys started from was very, very, very humble.
Yeah.
Behind us is what you see here. It's actually a part of a poultry shed, right? And they started this. Of course, it costs, you know, some money. Nothing in life is worth nothing, right?
Exactly.
So you have to put a little bit of something, but there's a lot of reclaimed iron sheets behind us, iron sheets that has already been used elsewhere, but it was collected and it was repurposed into building this temporary structure. And the reason that I wanted to highlight this for you, both my partner and I wanted to highlight this for you, because many of you find comfort in just giving yourself the ultimate out. Excuse after excuse why you can't start. You don't have enough capital. You don't have enough support.
Land.
You don't have the land. You don't have places to go. Well, as you guys know, the reason this is so significant, this shed behind us here actually was able to raise over 300 chickens, local chickens, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
right?
local chickens.
And then at some point, the local chickens went to market. Then they sold, just half of them sold, and the other half was being held to still be at the farm.
Yeah.
But with the half of the chicken that was sold, a portion of that money was saved for improvements.
Yeah.
And so we'll definitely share with you guys as we move along. But for the time being, the message I wanted to convey to you from a retired and rehabilitated banker.
Yes.
You guys need to stop with the excuses. You need to stop with the unsupportive boyfriends or husbands or family members, because if this is something you want to do, there are ways to do it. And you can definitely start your farm on a budget.
Yeah, that is true. There's some saving and the year is coming to an end and you have not invested on anything and you're wondering, how should I really start? You don't have to start big, start small. That's what we always preach on this channel, that start small but think big always. So whatever you have, begin with it. We are the example here. We started from temporal structures, very temporal. And if you see how we've been progressing, you guys have been following every step of our journey at farming. So never lose hope. So this is just one section that we are sharing with you guys, but there's a lot to share as beginners.
Yeah, but again, before we leave this section, right? I just want to make sure we get this covered. I want to make sure that we can be real with each other, right, guys?
Exactly.
Let me tell you guys this, right? When it comes to investing, when it comes to legacy, when it comes to leaving something behind long after you're gone, right? Many of our brothers and sisters in Kampala, though they're not making billions of shillings, but you know what they have money to invest in? Hair, nail, going out drinking with the girls every other weekend, or if not every Friday, right? And they also have money somehow, some way. They come up with the money to take these lavish vacations, going to these gardens every other week and spending hundreds of thousands of shillings, right? And yet, when it comes to leaving something, evidence that you've worked for something in your life, that's the last.
Difficult.
And most people, that's how they usually find themselves, waking up at 60 and they look like, oh my God, I've been working for more than 40 years.
There's nothing
and there's nothing to show. Well, the best time for you to start planting those seeds is not when you're 60 or 70 of course, you're never too old nor too young to start in farming or investing in yourself and in your future.
That's
right?
true.
But you have to start. It is often said every great journey on this planet starts with one step. And so if you haven't been taking the step, if you've been, lollygagging, if you've been procrastinating, it's okay. It's human nature.
Yeah.
We all have that DNA. That's the one invisible DNA
Procrastination.
that's built into everyone. You are a professional procrastinator. But some of us are aware of that deficiency. So then we push ourselves, even when we don't want to get out of bed early, even when you don't want to do your homework, even when you don't want to cram for exam, but you find a way to do it. And that's how we end up with doctors. And then we end up with just unskilled laborers.
That's true.
It's the people who have that ability to push themselves to take it to the next level. When everybody else is partying, hanging out, having a good time, they understand there's a time for play and there's a time for work.
That is so true.
And hopefully you guys can join us in the working aspect.
On this journey as well.
Let's go to the next section.
All right. So guys, we are in this other section. Of course, we're in the farm to bring you guys how you can begin, how you can strategize, what you need to consider before you start a farm or when you're going to start a farm on a budget. Here we are definitely at the fencing bit of it for the farm. Whenever you acquire your land, make sure that you fence it. What materials are you going to use for fencing? That is something that you need to really consider as well, because you don't want intruders to come to your property. You don't want thieves to just easily come to your farm, because you need to protect your property at the farm. So right behind us, we have the mituba trees. Of course, we started first with the poles, the treated poles. Those can work, but they're also temporal. As long as they're not really treated very well, they're going to rot very fast. But the mituba is just the choice for you.
Ultimately, this was, and again, since we were all one family here, we have to tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Exactly.
So when we
real truth.
When we first started with our farm, at Value Farm, we made the similar mistake that most farmers do make, right? I don't care if you're in Ghana, Zimbabwe, wherever you are, right? Some people have the old knowledge, right? And it's okay to bring the new, and you can also match that with the old. So in coming in with the new ideas of how to do everything to make it look aesthetic, we made the mistake of actually investing in a whole bunch of eucalyptus trees, right? And those trees, obviously, yes, they were treated, but you know what? With time and wear and tear, we realized that that was not the way to go.
That is true.
So there were many, many, many shillings that were wasted in this investment, because obviously securing your facility is a must.
Yeah,
right?
true.
You don't have the luxury to just leave your land open. Because there's something here, I don't know what the laws or the rules say where you guys are located, wherever you might be watching from. But here in Uganda, if you could have 5 acres, 10 acres, 100 acres of land, unless it is fenced, though it's private property, you have open grazing. So your neighbors will take the liberty to come graze on your property, no matter how many times you ask them not to come back. And they'll tell you, well, it's not fenced. So you have to fence your place. So when you're thinking about starting your farm, don't think about just buying square miles of land. You also have to think about the calculus of getting the square miles of land. If you can afford, if you have that budget, then that's perfectly normal. But also consider your actual biosecurity zone, right? Where your staff is gonna be staying, where your animals are gonna be staying if you're into, of course, livestock, right? But even with crop management, right? If you're into crop, guess what? Unless you actually fence off that area, there are some very cynical people out here. And it even happened here at our farm. And our place, actually is fenced.
Yeah, it is
for
fenced.
the most part. But then some people will try to still sneak in, and they will let their cows come and graze on your maize, on your vegetables for your staff.
True.
So you have to make sure you make
stubbornly,
that
by the way.
You have to make sure you make that investment early and be consistent about it. And so the reason the mituba tree is so vital, yes, you know, in some places they'll give it to you for free. But if you must, it's okay if you actually have to invest in buying the branches. And the beauty with this particular tree, you don't have to buy many.
No.
You can get the stubs, you can get the branches, you can get the big ones, you can get the small ones. As long as you put them in the ground at the right time, and you don't even put your barbed wire on, and I'm sure we'll show you guys this in the B-roll later on, it's definitely gonna get to a point where you're gonna find that stump or that branch
Grow into a tree.
will definitely morph into a tree. And what does that do? Well, it creates that natural boundary for you. It gives you that perfect sight line you're looking for. And once it starts to actually take root and starts to grow, guess what? You don't have to worry about termites. It's never gonna fall down, right? It's just gonna keep growing. And when it gets to a certain size where it's looking like a tree, then you could decide to put your barbed wire or your mesh fencing. But at least the aspect of you spending so much money on buying eucalyptus.
That is
Most
true.
people, if you have neighbors that have this tree, like our neighbors, give us most of these branches for free, right? So that's what I wanted to show you guys.
Yeah, and also let's talk about the pricing of the eucalyptus. I think by that time we bought one piece, one pole, around, was it 2,000 to 3,000 Uganda shillings? But
each pole.
And of course, remember, if you have like how many acres of land?
10 acres of land, do the
it's
math.
going to be very, very pricey.
If you have 10 acres of land, you need a minimum of at least 2,000 to 3,000 of those poles. So then you do the math. To think that you put in the poles, you have to pay for labor. Someone has to dig those holes, or you have to dig it yourself, which is quite all right. But imagine if you do all that work and they tell you these poles are treated and they're protected from termites, and then like 4 months later you come and your whole fence is laying on the ground.
Bending.
You understand? So now you have to remove everything, you have to redig, you have to reset. You want to be busy making money. You want to be busy putting things in the ground that's actually going to bring you back a yield. Yes, it's important to protect where your farm is located, but you want to be making money.
Money as well.
So these are some of the things that you guys need to think about. Of course, making sure you secure your land. And I want to make sure we cover this since we're on the topic of starting your farm on a budget. You really need to think about where you want your farm to be located. Don't listen to your friends in the city who knows nothing about farming. That's going to tell you like, oh, it's so deep in the village. Guess what? That is the blessing and the curse, right? You can definitely find, if you're lucky enough to have a farm in the city, good for you. But that comes with its own set of problems.
True.
Because if your farm is within like a 10-minute car ride from the city, you're going to have to spend even more money on security. You're going to have to spend a lot more sleepless nights, because the more accessible your farm is to you, the more accessible it is for the thieves.
Exactly.
So the beauty in actually being in the village, you actually have a natural boundary. Okay? Where people don't know where your farm is, that's a blessing. Because if everybody can get to your place so easily, then that gives you a unique set of circumstances you have to consider. And another thing too, we actually have a really good friend of ours. You know, I'm sure he watches this video, so I'm not going to mention names, but you know who you are. He actually made a very nice investment. He purchased land very close to the city center, but he wanted his farm to be close to the city center. However, he's realizing because of the amount of livestock he's needing and he wants to get into, you know, having 13.5 acres for where he's wanting to go, he needs more land. And he needs the land to be more cohesive. So now he's actually having to liquidate those 13.5 acres, right? In order for him to get maybe like 40 acres or 50 acres of land. Yes, you always want to think about where your land is located. The land, of course, it will appreciate. But if your main focus is farming, you should think about that first. You know, the land is going to be there, right? But if you're looking for land to appreciate at a quicker rate, then you should definitely make those investments. But that may not necessarily be where you want to put your farm in the heart of the city. That's just from my personal experience
as well.
What we've experienced from some of the other farms that we visited and some of the challenges that those people face.
Wow, that is really amazing.
Guys, let me make sure we're all on the same page, right? Whether you want to do crop or you want to do livestock, animal husbandry as a whole, everything starts with genetics. So if you ever go somewhere and somebody's saying genetics don't matter, because you want to do meat in terms of goats, or you want to do meat production with your sheep, or whether you want to do pigs, cows, even chicken. If they're telling you where you get your initial parenting stock don't matter, then you need to walk away slowly.
Slowly.
That's someone who does not want to see you succeed.
Exactly.
And in fact, in this country we're in, I don't know how it is where you guys are, we find part of the reason that we actually share everything with you guys is because I know, and my partner here understand, how difficult it is to get real information when it comes to starting a farm, when it comes to farming in general.
Yeah.
There are a lot of experienced farmers, no matter where you go, but some of those experienced farmers have the old school way of thinking. You know, somebody can have 100 cows, and you yourself, you're an aspiring farmer, you can only afford to have 2 or 3.
True.
And when you go to that person, you ask for advice, they will either give you wrong information, or they won't give you any information at all. They're just going to say they don't know, the cows are just there. But in reality, they understand how to treat these animals naturally, the best places to take them to graze, what to give them when they're not feeling well. But when you're first starting, they will never give you that information.
That is
so we hope this can help you. And in turn, when you get this information, when you find this channel, you share it with other people.
Other people as well.
Because let me tell you, we had to learn. We went to the school of hard knocks, right?
Yes.
So doing our own research, making our own mistakes, learning from our mistakes. And we hope you learn from our mistakes so you don't have to repeat the same mistakes that we've made.
That is very true. Lesson learned. Please plan, do your research, visit other farms as well, and also come to your own conclusion, how you want things to be done to your way.
For those of you that are fans of this channel, you already know we're sitting at Value Farm.
Yes.
And the reason we actually wanted to show you that initial shed is because we started with that shed and we ended up with the chicken house that we've actually shown you guys before. You'll see it in the B-rolls, right?
That is so true.
And guess what? The chickens that were there initially in that shed actually aided in building
the new
chicken house, right?
Yes.
So the new coop. So we always tell you, when you have, especially if you're in livestock, you want those animals to start paying for their own keep. You understand?
True.
Yes, you start with your own money, but when you get to the point where you have your initial parenting stock, guess what? Biology is on your side.
That
Lord
is so
willing,
true.
as long as you have your health, and as long as you have your starting parenting stock, at this point it becomes a waiting game. You take great care of your animals and you're diligent about your approach. And the most important thing, just remember, on this journey of yours, when you start this, there's gonna be so much negativity.
Of course.
Do not listen to the haters, okay? Let them talk, let them hate, and just you continue on. You put your blinders on, you know where you have to go, you know where you wanna be.
Exactly.
Now you have to do the work to help you get there. And so for those of you who's making the decision to join us for the first time on the journey of becoming a farmer, you wanna leave your corporate gig, remember, it's a slow and steady approach. You don't just quit your job, you transition slowly.
Slowly.
When you could replace at least 75 to 80% of your income with your farm income, then you say goodbye to your boss and you become the boss.
And even more to that, something just to hint on about the animals in case you want to do livestock. Start with a few animals. Do not just go head in fast. You want to start big. There are some people who have really approached us and they're like, you know, for me, I want to start big. I have my money.
I know.
Those are mistakes. You know, you might have all your money, then do you want to lose it altogether in the beginning? No, you don't want to make that mistake. Start with a few animals, have an experience with them, see how they are progressing, how they're adapting in your farm. You can be able to expand. That is the best approach.
So the last thing, I'll make this quick, that I want you guys to really heed this warning, okay?
Yeah.
Money does not guarantee you success in farming.
Yeah.
Knowledge does.
True.
Best practices does. The way you treat your staff, the location you select. There are a lot of other factors that can either make you fail or succeed. Obviously, management, not just in terms of you having a management on the ground, but you yourself as the CEO, as the founder, as the entrepreneur who's taking the financial risk, you have to understand how to manage your business, how to manage your staff, and most importantly, how to manage the animals at your farm or your crops at your farm.
At the farm.
You need to make sure that you know more than everybody on the ground, okay? Even if you're not a professional vet, it's your job to become a de facto vet by learning. You can't call yourself a vet, but you need to know exactly what the vets are giving to your animals. You understand? And you yourself, in case the vet is not there, you should be able to diagnose what's wrong with your animals and do the basics.
Exactly.
Until help arrive, okay?
Yes.
So you guys, I want to say again,
you know what I wanted to say?
Yeah?
Don't be an expert. If you don't know something, ask the vets, ask the professionals. There are people who want to prove that they know more.
Speaking of which, right, this is a very important warning. I know this might have to be a two-part video, but you guys need to know this, right? The number one reason that I know people always tell you management is the key, it's a key component.
Yeah.
But this is why you as an owner need to know. You can never take any future employee's word in terms of experience for what they tell you.
Yeah.
Because people will tell you they're experts in poultry, they're experts in animal husbandry overall, and come to find out that they are learning
from your animals
by killing your animals at your farm. They're learning by letting your expensive crops that you spend so much money to prepare the land, buy the proper seeds, make sure that you have the staff on schedule, and guess what? They don't have a clue. So please, please do not make the same mistake that many other fellow farmers out there make, because you may think you have the world's greatest manager because they come prepared. They have all the right answers. They've been on Google, but they're pretending. And that's like the number one danger, because someone can tell you they know how to take care of goats, they have experience with goats, and they can even go to Nassau Road. That's where they make forged documentation. Yeah. Okay? Somebody might be calling themselves a vet.
A vet, yet
they bring you paper that look real, they bring you their CV, and they bring you the recommendation letters, and guess what? You should always hire these people on a provisional basis. You never give somebody a 12-month contract. They come in, they show you what they can do, right? You observe, and if they're capable, if they demonstrate they're able to do the job, then you keep that person.
You keep that person.
But don't just defer to that person as if they're the end-all be-all. That's why you as yourself, you need to actually know the basics, and you need to always continue to learn, especially about the field that you're in. Okay?
True. Wow. That is amazing, guys. I hope you guys have learned something from here. In case you have any questions, in case you feel like this video was really beneficial to you, you learned something. A little long, but
we had a lot to say.
Yes, please leave your comments down below so that we can also hear from you guys. We want to see your opinions as well. If you have other points you want also to add for other people to learn from, please leave them down below so that we can also learn from one another. But we really appreciate you guys. If you watched up to this moment, we really appreciate you guys. Please don't forget to go and check out our social media platforms. Instagram is Value Farm UG, Facebook Value Farm, TikTok Value Farm UG. Go and see behind the scenes and also follow us on the other side. But we appreciate you guys so much. Do not forget to tell a friend, subscribe, like, and share. Till next time.
Bye.
Bye.